Welcome to Headlocks, Heels, and Havoc, the wildest mixed tag team in podcasting where the kayfabe drops and the chaos takes over. Let's ring the damn bell.
Headlocks tight, heels on the prowl, dropping elbows, hearing growl, feel the foul. No script here, just real, no bluff. Kayfabe crack, now the dirt gets rough. Headlocks, heels, havoc in the zone. Stepping in the ring, chaos at your home. No filters, no mask, just raw bare tone. Wrestling unscripted, we on the throne. Title bells, mic checks, crowd going crazy. Drop truth bombs, leaving lines feeling hazy. Beyond the kayfabe, past the charade, where legends are born and stories get made. Headlocks popping, who's hitting the mat? Welcome to the Havoc where the real talk's at. Tune in, step through, leave the fake at the door. Headlocks, heels, havoc, now hear the roar. Legends are born and stories
Welcome
get
to
made.
the show, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. I am one half of the greatest tag team in podcasting, the legend J-Mac. With me, as always, is everybody's favorite uncle, Uncle Slam,
What's up?
representing them Philadelphia, Feagles?
Whoa. I don't want to hear nothing from them Patriots or what are you, a 49er lover? You keep switching
Of course,
on.
man. 49ers and the Patriots, man. Who else is there?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
one
That's
of
all
us,
right. Go
one of us
Seattle.
is in the Super Bowl. One of us is not. We are not the same.
That's all right. I think you're going to run into some birds anyway.
That's all right. As long as they don't go for a throw on the 1 yard line, we should be. They should be good. If not, if they go for the throw on the 1 yard line, we got this wrapped up, man. I know we do.
You already know the play.
I already know the play, man. I already know what's going to happen. It's almost like it was predicted in the stars and everything. Now, welcome to the show, everybody. How's everybody been? Hope everybody's had a good week. All that good stuff. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and follow so that way we can keep bringing you all this great content. Listen to me floating our own boat. But no, we've got a little bit to talk about today. We got Royal Rumble today, and I got a few little headlines and everything. One was kind of interesting, and I think that'll be the one we'll probably dive the deepest into and everything. But I got a few headlines to talk about here and everything. Nothing too spectacular. Speaking of which, though, before we get too deep into the wrestling stuff, I'm guessing by what you said just a second ago, we got a person going for the Seahawks in the Super Bowl.
Well, I got to stick with the birds here, and I definitely ain't going for no cheating Patriot team.
Now,
not this current team, but past teams.
Yeah, see, you projecting stuff onto this team. Drake May. I'm still trying to get over that. How his name is his nickname as well.
I don't get that either.
I don't either. The Drake May thing. I'm like, I don't get it. Whatever though. Oh shit, no. Speaking of Royal Rumble, man, check this out. I seen this the other day. I thought this was a crazy little fact. So Scott Hall has never been in a Royal Rumble, but Razor Ramon has.
Why do you have this terrible picture of him? Like, is this supposed to be some AI shit? Because it looks terrible compared to the
No. That's remember when? Okay, do you remember back on Monday Night Raw?
Oh no!
This is the replacement Razor Ramon.
Oh God!
So but before he became Kane, he was Glenn Jacobs played Diesel.
Oh, now I remember. Yes.
Yeah, this is fake Diesel and fake Razor. So Scott Hall never competed in a Royal Rumble, but Razor Ramon did.
That's messed up. No, I never thought about that.
Every time I see this dude as Razor Ramon, I'm like, had this guy showed up as Razor Ramon, I probably would have bought it more. But he didn't, and I can't buy that guy as Razor Ramon. I can't never remember.
Oh, that just seems like some cheap stereotype.
I think it's hilarious. I thought it was a funny little fact out of it. Scott Hall. That's crazy though to think though that Scott Hall has never competed in a Royal Rumble.
I know.
Like, but now that, well, when I got to thinking about it and everything, and I seen that and everything, I went back and looked, and I was like, well, that's true because he wrestled Bret Hart for the world title. You know what I'm saying? He was always wrestling in a singles match, either for the Intercontinental or challenging for something or something like that, but still kind of crazy.
Yeah, I never thought about that.
All righty. Stupid little facts that come across my page. What's your algorithm got? Apparently not Bret Hart being a bad guy.
Never that. Not my boy. You can never.
Let's see here. Oh, yeah, Braun Strowman here. So, it says, best wishes to Adam Shear, a.k.a. Braun Strowman, who underwent surgery to treat a severe infection in his knee. I hope I'm saying his last name right. Shear revealed doctors removed the bursa from his knee and drained fluid. The pain is finally starting to subside, he was quoted as saying. He expects to remain in the hospital for one more night before being discharged. Shear currently hosts the USA Network series Everything on the Menu. Did not know that either. That he hosts.
Prayers go out to him. I knew about the little show he had, like where it's kind of like a food show where he eats all this massive amount of food.
So he's kind of took over as that, like, what is it that one dude that used to
Adam? I can't think of his last name.
On Food Network, yeah.
Who used to eat all the food challenges and stuff like that. I don't know if he's taken over that type of job, but it's kind of like that type of show.
I heard that dude had to quit because like it was killing him or something like that.
Did you see this type of stuff he was eating? Hell yeah, it would.
I was all right.
The only person that could eat that amount of food all the time would have to be Andre the Giant, like I said, because ain't nobody being able to do that. And
Yokozuna type appetite.
And we saw what it did to Yoko.
Right.
He died way too early, RP.
That's crazy, man, because had he just not eaten the way he had, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying, he needed to lose weight. He's a big dude. You know what I'm saying? It can't be good for your body. But when he first came, man, that dude was able to move, man.
I know, like I said, and like if you look at him like before he came and like was actually like Yokozuna, like he was a whole lot skinnier. You know what I'm saying? Like he could move, like he, and then he built that character, and
he was like about the size of like Jacob Fatu.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's another thing too, because we're gonna have a shout out to them. Next, we're gonna have the Sloans on our show, and I know that one of them is a big can't think of the bloodline family dynasty fan, a Samoan fan, and so I was researching the Samoan dynasty and stuff last night. I did not know that there was a member of their family that was on American Gladiators.
Which one?
Toa, maybe.
I'd have to look him up because I don't remember him now. I remember the original, like the OGs, like the Nitros and the Striker and people like that. Gemini.
Gemini, yep. But yeah, it may have been like on the reboot show or, after, some of those people left. Because I know I watched a documentary about the American Gladiators on Netflix, and I know that kind of like towards the end, and I'd stopped watching it by then, of course, too, but towards the end, they were kind of pretty much replacing all the gladiators with new people and stuff and everything. So,
Well, yeah, because I watched some of that documentary too, and I think they were trying to hold out to get more money or get some of the licensing or revenue and
royalties
stuff,
from
and
yeah,
because they were making so much money, and the company or the TV studio was like, here, we'll just switch you out for somebody else. Like nobody's gonna care.
well, not only that, wasn't it something about like they were like selling toys and stuff and everything, and like all the royalties and stuff, and they weren't getting a penny of it. The
Yeah,
only
like
thing
I
they
said,
were
all of it
making
came
was
down.
their contract.
Yeah, like it came down to money. Like I said, they were pretty much doing all the work and not really getting paid for it. Is what it
Right,
came into.
right, right. Also, before I go any further, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're gonna start doing some segments here and everything. So we're gonna get through the news and everything a little bit as quick as we can. Then we're gonna have a couple little segments for you and talk about some other stuff. But before I get too far into the news, one thing that we are going to start doing is at the beginning of the recap show, we're going to start giving you all a trivia question. So the trivia question this week, I did my best to try to find a really good one. Don't be looking it up on the internet either. Just if you know it, you know it.
Well, people are going to cheat, but that's all right. Like I said,
Right. Such as the times. No, okay. Here's the question. It says, which professional wrestler is the only person to have wrestled a singles match against Bruno Sammartino in the 1970s, Hulk Hogan in the 1980s, Steve Austin in the 1990s, John Cena in the 2000s, and AJ Styles in the 2010s?
Now, am I allowed to guess this, or are we just gonna, can we?
I mean, you're more than welcome to
Obviously,
guess.
like you already know the answer to this, so I'm
Right.
just gonna. I would
I
say that.
will. When should I reveal the answer? When should the
Um,
answer get revealed? Should we wait
Next
like
week's
a day or
show,
two?
or
Yeah, we'll do next week's show. I'll reveal the answer next week's show. So on our page, I'm going to post this question on our page as well. So y'all got a week to answer this question.
there you go.
Which professional wrestler is the only person to have wrestled a singles match against Bruno Sammartino in the 70s, Hogan in the 80s, Austin in the 90s, Cena in the 2000s, and Styles in the 2010s? Get your answers in.
Okay, my first guess. Well, because it's got to be somebody somebody that's been around. It's going to be Ric Flair, just because he's to me seems like the obvious choice. He's been around a long time. He's wrestled pretty much any and everywhere. I don't know if that is the answer or not. I didn't look anything up, so that's my guess. So that's what I'm going to throw out there.
Do you want to know if you're right, or you want to wait till next week?
No. I want everybody else to guess too. So
Okay.
like I said, I can wait. Like I said, because I don't really think I'm right, but to me, that's just a easy answer right there. Is Ric Flair, just because he's been around for such a long time.
Uncle Slam's got his guess in. Everybody, it's y'all's in. He's got Ric Flair. Who y'all got? All righty, on to the next subject here. Now, I thought this was pretty cool. Like I said, I ain't got a bunch of big stuff. So, David Arquette, the actor, became the WCW World Heavyweight Champion in 2000, as everybody knows, in one of the worst decisions that probably helped kill WCW.
Yes.
To promote the film Ready to Rumble. While the creative decision was controversial, Arquette donated his entire WCW salary to the families of Owen Hart and Brian Pillman, as well as Darren Drozdov, who had been paralyzed in the ring. That's pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know it was a terrible decision to have that man as your world champion. Horrible decision. There's no arguing that, on any, and anybody can stand any ground to argue it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I know David Arquette is a huge wrestling fan. And I know even to this day, he wrestles. So, like,
Really?
yes. Like, if I'm not mistaken, I want to say it's on, it's either Tubi or Roku channel, I want to say. but there is a little, I guess it's a documentary about him wrestling. Like he's trained and everything. Like he wrestles for different companies. I want to say he just does the independent circuit, which is another cool thing. Shout out to the independents. But the thing that I thought was so cool about it is that he loves wrestling so much.
Yeah.
And he had made money. He could have easily just pocketed that money that WCW was giving him. Because that was easy money. Well, I won't say easy money because it's professional wrestling. People can say it's easy all you want to. Go out there and do it for 5 minutes and tell me how easy it is. But, for him, he didn't have to do nothing as far as real training or anything like that. He was an actor from Hollywood. All he had to do was come in, do a few things, and be ready and be on cue, normal stuff. So easy money, but he turned around and gave all his money away that he made to these 3 families from where they lost people or had a tragedy in their family. I was like, that's pretty cool,
Yeah, definitely got a lot of respect for that, like I said, because not a lot of people, probably would do that. Like I said, obviously he didn't need the money, and he is a fan of wrestling, so that just shows that he really does care a lot about wrestlers. And I'm pretty sure they probably needed the help too. Like anytime, tragedies like that happen, like we all need some help.
Well, especially Martha, where she was going through the legalities too of the lawsuit against the WWE and stuff.
It pissed me off like no other when I found that out, man. Like Vince trying to sue her, like come the.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, for all the good things Vince has done for the business in general, there's always those clouds. There's a dark clouds. And it's like it's sad, man, because Vince should be, and he is, but Vince should be iconic in the world of wrestling in a way that nobody else is, and he is. But it's not for the right reasons.
Yeah. Like the bad outshines the good, unfortunately.
Yes.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the bad really does kind of overshadow all the good stuff he's done, how he's built the company, how he's developed. Instead, all you hear about, the payoffs and the, this and that and what he let go on and politics. So
it's sad.
Yeah.
So check this out. I seen this and I wanted to get your opinion on this here. So these are what is considered the most heartbreaking WWE retirements ever. The number 1 heartbreaking retirement ever was Edge.
See, I never saw. Are we talking about in the WWE?
Yes. Most heartbreaking WWE retirements ever. We had number 10, Kurt Angle, number 9, Mick Foley, number 8, Triple H, number 7, Stone Cold, number 6, The Undertaker in 2017 and 2020. So I guess he retired twice.
Yeah.
Paige at number 5, Shawn Michaels at number 4, Daniel Bryan at number 3, Ric Flair at number 2, and Edge at number 1.
Well, I can only speak to the ones that I actually know about because I didn't know much about Edge's. Now, I knew about Ric Flair's, especially with Shawn Michaels. So, to me, that's more of my 1 than it would be a 2, but like I said, I don't know enough about Edge to be like, he's, obviously like I knew about Daniel Bryan one also, Shawn Michaels, Paige, hers seemed more controversial than it was like, hey, Stone Cold's like really did hit hard for me or whatever. Triple H's, like when I found out about it, like when I found out the details later on, that was really scary because like this man really did almost die.
Yeah.
Like he was basically in heart failure.
Yeah. And if you watch that match where he's trying to climb into the ring and he's pouring water on himself and stuff and everything. Yeah, that looking back, knowing what was going on now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's crazy. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
No,
Go
no, no,
ahead.
you're fine. Like you said, but like when I saw that, and him and Steph were talking about it, and it was tearing her up, and how close he really was to dying. Like I said, hour by hour, his blood pressure was pretty much going down, and if he hadn't made it to the hospital in time, then he would have been gone. And on another note, that's the same thing that Bray Wyatt had,
Yeah.
and unfortunately, he didn't take the advice, and well, we saw what happened to
Yeah.
him. Mick Foley obviously is a big one for me because Mick's one
But
of my
in
favorites.
saying that with Bray Wyatt, and see, there goes the kind of like a what if. Would that have meant that Bray Wyatt was going to have to retire?
It probably would have.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, honestly, yeah. Like you said,
Triple H had to have a pacemaker put in, and that's
Yeah.
the reason why he can't step back into the ring is because he's got a pacemaker.
Yeah, he would have had to. I mean, I don't think doctors would have cleared him. Now, I mean, there might have been some other organizations that would have let him wrestle, but the liability would have been. I doubt their insurance would have permitted that.
That's what I was going to say. You would have to be a pretty shitty organization to allow somebody you know could die in your ring to clear
Now,
them to wrestle.
Now, like if he's just being a GM or something like that, that's a different story or whatever. If
Right.
he's like, well, I'm running, I'm the fake GM of the company. But yeah, as far as taking bumps, no.
I would have loved to have seen like Bray Wyatt been able to come back at least and been like the manager of the Wyatt Six.
Yeah,
that would have been pretty cool.
but maybe that's why he didn't take the doctor's advice, and like he didn't think it was as serious as it was, and unfortunately it was. You know what I'm saying? Like that is a big what if. You know what I'm saying? Because can you imagine how different the WWE would have been if Wade Bryant, if Wade Bryant had still been alive with the Wyatt Six or whatever?
Oh, I know.
As far as the direction they would have went, because right now, I'm sorry, the storyline with the MFT is just kind of weak, and I'm not really buying it. Like I just feel like they got two groups, so they were like, "Hey, you're a group, We're just gonna make you face each other."
Right. There's no real reason why. It's just here's two groups.
Yeah, no storyline behind it or whatever. Yeah. That's really
You're
interesting.
gonna just randomly attack somebody here all of a sudden, and that's how we're gonna start this feud.
Yeah. No.
Well, speaking of Royal Rumble, there have been rumblings, ha ha ha, no pun intended, of a couple, and I'm going to get your opinion on this later on in a different segment, but let's get your opinion on this part of it because we've talked extensively about how, the older guys coming back. And, to an extent, if you got to fill a spot for the Rumble match and stuff, I don't really mind them coming back for a minute in the Rumble. I don't want to see them win it. I don't want to see, any of these old heads win and go on to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But to come in and make a 15, 20-minute appearance and everything, eliminate a couple people, I'm okay with that, much of it. So in saying that, there is rumors that Mr. Kennedy could be in the Rumble tonight. Or, well, not even tonight, here in a couple hours because it's in Saudi Arabia. So I think it starts at 2:00 p.m. Eastern time. So
that would be all right, but I'm not gonna be like, you're not gonna get me like a Road Warrior pop because Mr. Kennedy showed up. I'm sorry.
I think he's going to get a pop, but he's not going to get like the AJ Styles pop when AJ Styles debuted in the WWE.
Yeah.
Because they knew that, okay, this is not just a one-off. This is AJ Styles is here, and it turned into him being a couple-time world champion, so on and so forth. Well, there's also talk about Batista going to be in the Royal Rumble, which I just seriously could not care. After the Blue Tista stuff, I was kind of just done with Batista.
After the what?
The Blue Tista. Do you not remember that? When they kind of had the Evolution reunite with Triple H, Randy Orton, and Batista. And I think I want to say it was WrestleMania. I can't remember. It was at a PLE. But Somebody said it. I guess Batista didn't get the memo about what tights to wear tonight because there's Randy wearing his normal black tights, that say Orton on the back and everything. Then you got Triple H with his black tights that's got his, symbols and stuff on it. And, they're all wearing black knee pads and black boots and everything. Well, you look over there and there's Batista's got these like blue trunks on and blue knee pads and blue.
Guess he didn't get the memo, huh?
So the running joke was he was Blue Tista.
Blue Tista. Okay, I get it. No, I hadn't heard that one.
I've never been a huge fan of Batista anyway, but if he shows up, he shows up. If he doesn't, he doesn't. I don't really care.
I like Batista. I'd be excited if he showed back up, but where he's lost so much mass from being an actor compared to being a wrestler, he just looks almost sick now. Like I said, I'm not saying he is sick. I'm just saying he doesn't have that mass. He doesn't have that bulk. So the guy that I remember looks more like he's sickly than he does a professional wrestler. I hate to put it that way.
Is it me, or did John Cena look like that towards the end? Like he was losing some of his mass?
I think he was, honestly, like I said, because he probably wasn't working out like he, as
I don't
much.
think he could.
Well, I mean, like when he injured, I'm pretty sure he was supposed to have some type of surgery, like at the end of the tour.
I know, he's got bad hips. And that's one of the reasons why, if I'm not mistaken, if you notice when he walks and stuff, his upper body kind of leans forward a little bit because his hips are all jacked up and everything, which, hey.
I see why. Have you seen all the people he's lifted or F5 or whatever you want to call it? Like Big Show, have 4 or 5 people on there. Damn.
I'd like to see his chiropractor's bank account.
He's probably got one on a retainer or standby.
One in every town.
Yep.
All right, let's see what we got next. Oh, this one's cool. I thought this was really cool. Okay, so there is a independent corporation, independent wrestling organization, EPW. I'm not exactly to see. I think it's Elevate Pro Wrestling. It says it's nothing we hide that we here at EPW, we take wrestling to the next level while we still honor wrestling's past history. If you've seen our tag titles, you've noticed the middle figures. This is to pay tribute to some of history's absolute best tag champions, Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard. And they weren't just 2 of the 4 horsemen. They was a staple to tag team wrestling. We want to give a shout out to the 4 Horsemen Network on YouTube and to Arn and Tully. This was a moment for us to see, and we are honored. Link to the full episode in the comments, blah, 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 from the article. But I don't have a picture of the belts themselves. I wish I did. They're really cool, though, because the side plates, if I'm not mistaken, are the old NWA tag champions.
I figured you would say that.
And then, on the front plate, it's got, just the black silhouette of Arn and Tully standing, on each side of the world, I believe it is. And everything. Look it up. It's a really cool tag team title belt. But I thought that was really cool that they are honoring people like that. But it's funny that I've seen that because in saying that, Bruce Pritchard, aka Brother Love, I seen a video, a little reel of his where he was talking about how he loved Arn Anderson and he loved Tully Blanchard.
Yeah.
But they were boring together.
What do you mean they were boring together?
As a tag team. He said their matches were boring.
I just find that hard to believe, especially with Arn Anderson and whatever, Tully Blanchard. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think they were boring matches?
I think people who don't know wrestling And I don't want to say that Bruce Pritchard doesn't know wrestling because he obviously does. He had a long career in wrestling.
Yeah, and he's still in it right now.
And I did not know that he's the one that came up with the Undertaker gimmick.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, and he came up with it just because he wanted somebody to manage, and he wanted Mark. He specifically wanted Mark to play the role. But I don't want to imply that Bruce doesn't know wrestling because he obviously had a longer career, and I play podcaster on here, so, he been into it more than I have.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
But as a fan, and a fan that understands wrestling, or at least understands it to a degree,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it was boring. I think it was old school tag team wrestling. Cut the ring off. You know what I'm saying? Keep him in our half of the ring. Quick tags. You know what I'm saying? Nobody stay in the ring for too long. That way nobody gets worn down. Blah, blah, blah. All the old school adages that you hear in a old school wrestling match when you see them doing it. They're look at the crisp tags and in and out quick. Blah, blah, blah. It's just, they were just old school tag team is what it was. They would make blind tags, and Tully would get shot off the ropes, and while he was getting shot off the ropes, he's sticking his hand up, and nobody saw it, and Arn's tagging him in, and Tully's ducking something going off the other rope, and by the time the guy's turning around, he's getting picked up into a spine buster because he didn't see the tag. They were, my opinion, they were Tully and Arn were the Rockers and the Rock and Roll Express and the Midnight Express, but they were that on the ground.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
See, because I always felt like Arn was one of those people like you could plug and play with anybody. Like Arn Anderson, you could tag him with anybody and you're going to have a good match. Tully, not as much, but Tully still was, he was great. He was a genius in the ring and stuff. Like I said, he's probably very underrated as far as being a wrestler or whatever. I think a lot of that has to do with everybody's opinion on stuff. Maybe it wasn't Bruce's cup of tea. But I would not call their matches boring or whatever. Like I said, I'm kind of with you. It's just old school, like you said. It's not going to be high flying. Like it's not going to be a bunch of, off the rope type shit. It's going to be basic, DDTs. It's going to be, elbows, clotheslines, punches, stuff like that. Like,
yep.
It's just old school wrestling.
Beat you down, small little quick double teams that just beat you, that wear you down quick.
Yep. So, I think, like he's entitled to his own opinion. I obviously disagree. He knows more about wrestling than I do. But like you said, as a fan, I don't think that their matches were boring.
I agree 100%. All righty, on to the next. So AJ Styles. There has been some rumors, and I did not realize that today is AJ Styles' last day with the WWE.
Oh, you think he's losing, or you think his contract up?
It says this right here says there has been some online discussion that AJ Styles will have a match in AEW once he finishes up with WWE on Saturday. What do you think about the possibilities of that happening?
If it's really his last day, then the chances are really good. Like I said, like if he's not under contract anymore, he's free to do whatever he wants. And he had a huge following there, and they would love it if he came back. So,
well, no, he's never been to AEW.
Oh, no, that's TNA. Why not? Give it a shot. You ain't got nothing to lose. It's probably a giant payday, I was
going to say, if they're going to give him a giant payday for a couple of dates before he retires.
Why not pad your pocket on the way out? I hate to say it. If he's really retiring and he's not going to be doing anything else, get that bread while you can.
That's it. If I'm walking out the door retiring and somebody hands me a briefcase with another $1 million in it, I'm not going to be like, nah, it's okay. I've got enough. I'm going to see that briefcase. I'll figure out which hand to carry it in.
I thought you meant TNA. I was like, because, ain't that where he got, he became popular and got a start and,
right.
He became phenomenal.
Oh, yeah. If it was TNA, then yeah, that would be. Yeah.
See, I figured that was what he was going to do. That's why I thought when you said AEW, you meant TNA. And I was like, that makes sense. If that's where you get your start, you're going to come back home. They're going to give you a big payday. You're going to get a huge pop.
And see, that's the thing is like people aren't realizing that he said he's going to retire this year. He didn't say when he was going to retire.
Yeah.
He didn't say that this was going to be his retirement match. This was basically a loser leave WWE match.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's kind of what this is. It's just being billed as a retirement match so that they can say, oh, look, he retired here.
Exactly.
You got. Well, speaking of AEW and the possibility of AJ Styles going there is big news. So, Shane McMahon confirms his availability for the AEW general manager role. As per reports, AEW is set to sign Shane McMahon as their first ever television general manager. The AEW president, Tony Khan, recently caught up with Shane O'Mac for a secret meeting in Florida. Shane McMahon retired from pro wrestling in April 2023 following a severe quadricep injury. I remember when that happened. It happened at WrestleMania. He was fired from WWE as interim producer during Royal Rumble 2022 due to backstage conflicts. AEW has promised equity, good Lord, if I could spit it out, and complete creative control to Shane McMahon as part of the contract. The Shane McMahon era in AEW is expected to begin starting March 2026. What do you think the possibilities of Mr. McMahon, the younger version, showing up in AEW?
I think the chances are probably about 50-50. Like, I don't see why not. Like I said, obviously he's not working for his family anymore. There's probably no loyalty to stay. And if he really loves wrestling like he says, and it's in his blood, why not? You know what I'm saying? Like, if he's got any of that McMahon in him, just think, take another company and showing your former company, hey, look at me, like, look what I did type shit. Hey, sis. Hey, brother-in-law. And it also kind of depends on the type of relationship he still has with them or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, was he fired by Paul Lequette and his sister, or was this a TKO move or whatever? Was it?
Right.
As far as being let go. So that depends on how he was, but I don't see why he wouldn't. Like I said, I mean, like, if he's given, like equity in the company and stuff, and if the company grows and he makes money too, obviously he's probably going to get a nice, fat salary, and he doesn't have to take any more bumps.
That's right. And
he's kind of like a win-win, honestly. I mean, like, what does he really got to lose?
And I would say I'll put Shane O'Mac up there as a rival to Mick Foley as some of the greatest bumps ever taken in a wrestling ring.
I think some of that shit was just way too dangerous and stuff. Like, I don't know, like if he had daddy issues and he was trying to prove something to Pops, or he was just trying to, didn't think it was going to hurt as much as it did. I mean, I give him all the credit in the world, because some of them bumps, I was like, oh my God, like, he's, when Jim Ross said he's dead, I'm like, oh yeah, he's dead. Yeah. Like, I mean, shit.
I would stand on the top rope and look at jumping onto the mat and think about it twice. I'm not going to stand up on top of the Hell in a Cell and look down at the Undertaker on a table, or stand on top of a Titantron and look down at somebody, I don't care how much I know that platform I'm landing on is breakaway and it's cushioned underneath and everything. There ain't enough cushion in the world that can stop me for one. I got to hit that right spot for the cushioning to work. If I don't hit the right spot, this is the last time y'all ever gonna see me. So it's like, now, could you imagine, like somebody, like just, I mean, God forbid, and I'm not trying to put a horrible visual into people's heads or nothing like that, but just imagine, like with the Hell in a Cell jump, how close that is to that guardrail. Man, you know, an extra foot jumping the wrong way, and you're, coming down with your back right across that guardrail.
Man,
you know what I mean?
All you have to do is just look at some of them home videos of people with those backyard wrestling that that missed or overshot, and that tells you exactly what would happen if you missed or over.
Right.
Because I think some of them guys, I'm like, they got to be dead. I mean, like his neck is broke, like she's broke, they're paralyzed. I mean, there's just no other way. Like
it's crazy how much too that like they can. I don't know. Like there is, well, who was it? I cannot remember who it was. It was just before. I want to say it was just before Survivor Series.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember. Oh, I think it was Tiffany Stratton, but she was. They were, I guess, rehearsing or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And she went to do a fall off of the ladder, kind of like the Shawn Michaels fall, where he falls but straddles the top rope.
Yeah.
Well, she went to do that, and when she went to do that, like she didn't catch the top rope right, and I mean, came within a hair of breaking her neck just rehearsing.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, no. I'm not.
But it's fake. Remember, man, like it's fake. It's AI.
Right?
It's not real.
Right. For all you fakers out there and everything, y'all should stop doing that, man. Y'all should. I don't know how you learned how to fall off of a 20-foot ladder and everything, but whatever you did to learn how to do that, you should stop faking that because. I fell off of a 5-foot ladder one time and I didn't want to move for the next 3 years. I was still trying to get my soul to come back in my body 24 hours later, but
like
it just kills. Right. reaching for air, just trying to
pull it. Like grab it and pull it in. Like I got it. Right. Nah, it don't work.
Man. All righty, check this out. So the WWE talent have to pay out of pocket for Saudi compliant Royal Rumble gear. What do you think about that?
They have to pay out of pocket to get new costumes?
Yep.
Oh my God.
The WWE does not see. That's another thing. I'm sorry. If
go ahead,
you're booking our shows here. This is the way I look at it. If I go work at Burger King, and Burger King says I have to wear a uniform, then Burger King should supply that uniform.
Yeah, but they're independent contractors, so by definition, they have to bring their own shit.
True too. You bring up a good point. See, and that's another thing. That's the reason why I totally believe that wrestling in general needs some kind of a union.
Yeah, but we know.
I don't know to what extent.
But as soon as you say the union word, companies get nervous. So, and then they want to be like, "Yeah, you got to go."
Right.
So,
and it's true.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I just said it's true. You're right about that. The second they hear that word, they're like, "Nope, scatter."
Do they get a stipend or like anything for costume design? Because I know some people change a lot more costumes than others or whatever. Or like, is that all out of pocket too?
That I don't know. See, I know they have the wardrobe lady
Yeah,
that can like adjust things and stuff like that. But as far as like I don't know if they pay for their own stuff or if WWE pays for it more. If it, I don't know. I don't know if like special occasions like this you have to do. They have to pay for it out of pocket. I don't know. I just know they have to pay for this out of pocket, which I think is which like I said though, you are even though I'm an independent contractor, I feel like you have to take on some of the responsibility too because you're booking the jobs. You see what I'm saying?
yeah,
So if you're booking the jobs that require extra requirements than what my job originally required,
yeah.
then you should have to fit the bill for it.
Hmm.
Just my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, like I'm with you on that too.
Especially for the women, because it's the women that have to do the complying stuff.
Yeah.
It's not, the men are allowed to walk around in, their tights and everything that they wear. The
And
women are the ones that have to cover themselves from head to toe.
yeah, and I was watching SmackDown, yesterday or whatever, and like I know they all have to be full bodies, basically body suits and stuff, but all that shit just kind of blurs together. Like everybody kind of looks like everybody. Like I was watching, what was the I think it was a tag team match between Charlotte Flair and the Judgment Day, and everybody was wearing basically all black and shit, and it was just hard to tell, Perez with Charlotte and Jacqueline, and then here comes Stephanie, and she's all in black too, and I'm like, damn, like it's I don't know, like I definitely
wonder
don't
if they're doing that in protest.
huh?
I wonder if they're doing that in protest.
Maybe so, but like I said, I mean, it's just I don't like it, but like you said, like when you're in another country, and if you want to get their money, then you have to, abide by their culture. So it's just kind of one of those things, I guess. You just got to get used to.
Very, very true. So the next to last story I've got is The Undertaker. He says, I think we have gone too far. And what he's referring to as going too far is as far as pulling back the curtain.
Oh, I saw Paul Heyman said the same thing.
In saying that, The Undertaker shared his thoughts on modern presentation of pro wrestling, specifically regarding projects that pull back the curtain on the industry. Speaking on the 6 Feet Under podcast with Cody Rhodes, the WWE Hall of Famer discussed the balance between high production quality and maintaining the magic, quote unquote, of the business. Quote, from my aspect and my end of the business, I don't like it, unquote. The Undertaker stated regarding the exposure of the industry secrets. Quote, I don't care if it's 2025, it's 1990, or it's 1984. Everybody understands what wrestling is. Everybody knows. Ain't no big veil being lifted, except I don't want to go to see a magician and know how he's doing everything, unquote. I agree with that. He expressed a belief that the industry has become too comfortable discussing its inner workings. I think we've gone too far, and again, I understand everyone knows what it is, what we do, but there's got to be a little bit of the mystery. Cody Rhodes offered a counterpoint suggesting, sorry, let me get this off here so I can read the last little bit here. Cody Rhodes offered a counterpoint suggesting that the audience's knowledge presents a new challenge. What's the work under the work? Rhodes asked. There's an opportunity now to tell them, hey, you guys do know everything. But do you, right? Did I say that right? Hey, you guys do know everything. But do you, right? I guess he's saying, but do you, right?
Yeah. Yeah, kind of like a rhetorical question. Like,
Right.
do you really know?
So, what do you think? Do you think that Cody's right? Do you think that Taker's right? Do you think there's too much pulled back? Do you think it's
Um,
it
I
can?
guess it kind of just depends on your perspective. To be honest, as a fan, I kind of enjoy it because I'm learning stuff that I never knew before. So I enjoy, like seeing the inner workings of certain things. I definitely understand the Undertaker's point or perspective. Being an old school guy, there's just certain things you didn't do. You always stayed in the character. Heels and faces never mix and stuff. You were, that was your gimmick, was 24/7 type deal. So I definitely understand why he says that, but honestly, times have changed, and if they can find a way to make some money, then they're going to make some money off of it. Unfortunately, it's one more avenue of revenue, and people are interested in that stuff. Like I said, especially fans. So, um, is it too much? I guess it just depends on what side you're on. Like if you're a wrestler and you like keeping the mystery. Like I don't think it changes anything for me because I'm still going to watch it regardless. Like whether I know that this happened before, like behind the Royal Rumble this year, and that this is what they were planning or whatever. As long as I don't know it like ahead of time, and I find out about it, a couple months later after everything's done, said and done, then I don't care. But if it starts spoiling, the surprise, or it starts taking away from the mystery of it, then in that aspect, then no, I probably won't like it. But I don't have an issue with it, like I said right now. But I understand, like a lot of the old school guys, like Paul Heyman, like Taker, really don't like especially the show. I think it's on Netflix. What's it called? Like where they basically tell the back,
Oh,
not backstory, but basically behind the scenes of everything.
I know what you're talking about. I can't think of the name of it. It's isn't it like Get Real or something like that.
Yeah, or Unreal, or
Unreal. It's
yeah,
something like that.
yeah. But that's just me. Like I said, as a fan, I enjoy it, but like I said, I definitely understand why they say that. Like, what do you think?
I mean, I see what both of them are saying
Mm,
because just like the Undertaker, like you said, he's a purist. He's old school to the bone. It's literally in his bone marrow to be old school. Don't tell any secrets.
yeah,
Don't break kayfabe. Blah blah blah. Um, but I also see what Cody says. It's definitely an opportunity to be able to maybe do something a little different,
yeah,
than what has been done in the past because of what everybody knows.
right,
Because what I gathered that Cody was saying was the problem is we can't go back.
yeah,
We can't go back and pull the curtain back because if we do, then people know too much of what's going on.
yeah. Like the
You
genie's already out of the bottle,
exactly
so it's like, what are we going to do with it now that everybody does know? Are we going
right.
to take control of it and maybe monetize it, or kind of, I guess, like direct it our way, or are we just going to let fans do whatever or speculate, like however they want to?
And just to let everybody know, the Royal Rumble pre-show just started, and man, that place it's empty, but man, that place is huge.
What the
They built a stadium,
I saw that. Like, so they just built this stadium just for the WrestleMania. I mean, I'm
for the
sorry,
Royal Rumble.
Royal Rumble.
Yes,
Just
that's absolutely crazy.
like out of the blue. I mean, that just shows how much money they have just to for one event. Well, no, because if they're going to be doing WrestleMania and Royal Rumble or SummerSlam, then yeah, they're going to be using this stadium for the
Yep.
next couple years. So yeah, they probably is a good idea.
So
But I'm
okay,
hearing they had other venues and stuff.
I got some Royal Rumble trivia for you.
Alrighty.
Who were the first two back-to-back Royal Rumble winners?
I want to say one is it Shawn Michaels?
Yep. He was the second.
Is it Stone Cold?
Well,
No.
the first one's obvious. Stone Cold is the only 3-time winner.
Okay.
But I think he won back-to-back one time. But it was later on.
Hold on. I feel like I know this one. What's the other one? It's not Flair, is it?
Nope. He was the first one to win the Rumble and it be counted for a world championship.
Yeah. Well, that's when they put the world like whoever won the Rumble like was the world champion.
Right.
Yeah. It was the belt was on the line.
Because of where it had been stripped by Jack Tunney.
Yeah. I don't know. That's a good question. I kind of give up. Are you going to tell us the answer or?
Oh, I'll tell you. Yeah. This ain't like the other question. This was just a quick one that came to mind. But you not knowing doesn't work for me, brother.
Oh, Hogan.
Yep, 90 and 91.
I should have knew that shit.
I know it. That was the most obvious one. Actually, one of the ones, I can't remember if it was 90 or 91, but I was reading a story the other day where, and as a matter of fact, I believe we touched on this on our Andre the Giant episode. But one of those two, Andre was actually supposed to win as like a nod to him being the king of the Royal Rumble or the Battle Royal match in it.
Yeah.
So he was supposed to win one of them, and they were like, he can't even go down to the ring. He can't even stand up. And they're like, because they were going to have him enter number one. Well, they were like, no, there's no way he can go out there for over an hour, So they were like, okay, well, let's have him come in at number 30. And they were like, the problem is we don't know if he can even walk to the ring.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, that's just crazy, man, to know your body's giving out on you like that. You know what I'm saying? Which, I mean, he knew his was going to, but it sucks because that would have been cool to be kind of like, because he never got a proper world title run. It was that little fake, referee thing they did, which was cool. It was a good storyline and everything. But I always thought Andre, like Piper, like
he didn't need it to be relevant.
That's it. That's it.
Like you're still gonna tune in, like no matter what.
When the funny thing about it was, and in saying that is when especially when Hogan was the world champion, and Hogan and Andre were friends.
Yeah.
Even when Hogan was the champion and Andre was in the same room with him, I never felt like Hogan was on top.
No, hell no.
I was like, you see that big guy right behind you there, Hulk? He could take that anytime he wanted to. Anytime he wanted to. But now, getting to my last news story, and then we'll get into a couple other little segments, and then we'll let you good people get on out of here. But so I've seen this, and people are saying that this. I'll read what goes along with it. It is saying that Vince Russo said, sorry guys, a female talent jumping in the arms of her boss and literally straddling him is totally inappropriate behavior, both behind closed doors and in front of the talent. Number one, the crew of professional females I work with at JCW Lunacy would never even think of conducting themselves in that manner. Number two, they would know that based on who I am and how I professionally conduct and carry myself, that it would be totally inappropriate. And number three, yes, there would be disciplinary actions. The confusing thing to me is how does Triple H conduct his business with the female wrestlers on the WWE roster, at WWE roster, to make them believe that this kind of behavior is acceptable? That really is the curious part to me. what said wrestler, it was said wrestler excited? Obviously she was, but does that make it okay? I don't remember ever jumping into the arms of Dixie Carter at This Is TNA show, which that would have been kind of funny to be honest with you, but I'm just going to leave that there. Uh, when a show I wrote drew us over 2 million people. Say whatever you want to say about me. Totally, totally unacceptable. What do you think?
Who was the talent?
I can't tell. It looks like maybe like an EO Sky or somebody like that, or a Kyrie Sane or something like that. Looks like kind of an elaborate outfit. I can't see the lady's face.
So she jumped up to hug him like that because she was excited or what?
I guess so.
I mean, yeah, I can definitely see how that would look inappropriate or not, probably the best look, like giving that your boss when you're basically straddling them. Giving him a hug is one thing, but when you got your legs wrapped around his waist, I mean that kind of says a little bit something else. So yeah, like a regular hug or pat on the back, no problems. But yeah, straddling and wrapping your legs around somebody is yeah, not a good
It's a
look.
little much. I
Yeah.
got to agree with you. It is a little bit much and
Yeah.
everything. I just, you know,
And plus he's married too, so Stephanie's
right.
over here like, bitch.
Well, and not only that, but given the past history of the family,
Mm,
we're trying to move on from things like that. You know what I'm saying? From the controversies like that that have unfortunately shadowed the WWE in the past, what, 10 years?
yeah, at least.
Especially the last 10 years, because, when everything's been coming out and everything. But it just, I don't know. I agree with you. It's a little much. He needs to be the one that says, "Hey, I know you don't mean anything by it, and I know you don't. You're excited. And I'm very honored that you are excited, want to share that excitement with me, but we can't do it that way."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To me, that's just there's so many comparable situations that, innocent or not, it sends the wrong message.
Well, I look at it like this: don't do anything that like you wouldn't do in front of his wife. Like, would you come up to him if his wife was standing right there and jump and straddle him like you just did?
Right.
I don't think you would, because I don't think any other woman's gonna be like, she's gonna be like, get the fuck off my man. So to me, that's where it comes. It kind of comes out to now. Like, if you would do that in front of his wife, and you don't have no worry about it, or you don't think it's going to be retribution, cool. But I don't think it's. I really don't see it that way. Like, yeah, I don't see her being like, oh, that's no problem, that's fine.
I 100% agree with you and everything.
Unless you're into some freaky shit. But yeah,
hey, who knows? It is the McMahon family.
exactly.
We're gonna have to get this ship right, pal.
Where do you think he learned from?
Right. So we're going to try a new segment. We don't have really any graphics or anything for it yet or anything. We're working on everything. But a new segment we got is kind of like a what if segment. And I figured I would bring this one up first and everything because I've been hearing a lot of people talk about it. And I never really thought about it much until I listened to everybody talking about it. So my, I guess, first what if little discussion is going to be the what. Oh, well, let me say this. Everybody's been talking about X-Pac jumping from the NWO to DX. and how much people don't realize and how much people don't give the credit of that happening, shifting the Monday Night Wars. So I guess the question is what if X-Pac hadn't left and hadn't rejoined DX when Shawn Michaels had to retire? What do you think would have happened as far as DX goes?
Hold on. So this is saying that X-Pac was somehow one of the deciding factors in the Monday Night War because
A very key factor.
Key factor because he went from WWE to
WCW to WWE. Like I didn't think about it either, and then but whenever I was listening, because one of the people was Bischoff that that I was listening to, and then who else was it? I can't remember who else it was, but they were talking about he doesn't get the credit that he deserves for helping to shift things.
I don't know. Like I just don't see him as a pivotal figure.
I
Like
didn't
what did
either.
he bring? I mean, like what did he? Like how did he change the game for? If you say a Hogan coming over or a Scott Hall or Kevin Nash, yeah, but I just don't see it. Like I don't understand what he really did to shift the Monday Night Wars or whatever, or was a key part. Like, you have to give me some more details on that. I mean,
Well, see, and that's the thing is it's there's no real details. It's just the presence of him leaving the NWO and going and taking whatever I guess that youth coolness was at the time and taking that energy over to DX right at the time that Shawn had quit, well, not quit, but had to step back because of his back. And they kind of like were, what do we do with DX now? And so that happening kind of let them infuse DX again into becoming a big time player. Because there's a lot of people who argue that DX with X-Pac was actually bigger than DX with Shawn.
I don't know about all that.
I'm
I'm not even a Shawn fan, and I don't know. That's just kind of hard for me to agree with that and shit because I just don't see him being that big. And like I feel like China was bigger than he was. I feel like like the Road Dogg and Jesse James were bigger. Shawn was bigger. They had more influence, more pull. I just felt like he was just that extra guy there. Like I don't know. Like I just don't see that. Like
I think it was probably more he was the first real big impact guy that left WCW and came back to the WWE, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And, and he still had some of that, I guess, that raw, edgy youthness to him now, which to me, the only thing of him going to the WCW and becoming 6 did was got him away from that stupid 1-2-3 kid character.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think that let him come back with that edginess and be the edgy person in DX.
Yeah, but it's still a reach for me. Like it's still a reach. Like,
so what do you think would have happened with DX had he not left? Do you think DX would have still went on, or do you think that they would have dissolved a lot quicker? And
I don't think he was that big of impact in it. To be 100% honest, like I said before, like I just don't see him being that big a factor. I think DX would have been DX whether he was there or not. Like I don't see him being that game changer. I don't. Like I said, China to me was more of an impact than he ever was. And that's not a knock at him. It's just if we're going to do hierarchy in the group, or most important or most impact, he's just not. I mean, he's just bottom of the totem pole. Just to be 100% honest, like he's just. I
Really?
mean, he just is.
Okay. He's got X-Pac at the bottom of the totem pole with DX Impact. Okay.
Yeah,
Hot take.
yeah. I mean, like if we're listing them, like Sean Triple, China, Road Dogg, Jesse James, all the DX members. Yeah, he's the last one, and it's not even a hard. Like it's easy.
I don't have like. I never was a huge X-Pac 6 1 2 3 Kid fan.
Yeah.
It was nothing against his skill in the ring. I thought he was skilled in the ring. It was the Rey Mysterio believability thing. You know what I'm saying? He was always so skinny. You know what I'm saying? And littler than, everybody he went up against. So it was like, I just didn't believe that he was, I guess, gonna win.
Yeah.
But I understand what they're saying, because like he was supposed to be a part of the NWO, and honestly and truthfully, I think that's what made them scramble and start just throwing people into the NWO. But it was because I don't think the NWO was supposed to grow as big as it was supposed to. I think it was supposed to be Hogan, X-Pac, or 6 at the time, Nash and Hall, and then led by DiBiase. But then just everything else started snowballing, and 14 limos started showing up with NWO members and whatever. But I think X-Pac leaving kind of threw that plan into maybe a little bit of I don't know, just desperation, because we didn't know where we were going, because we didn't anticipate this type thing.
Yeah.
So I think maybe that was the impact of him going and stuff, was that it was just so unexpected to see him show up on that Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania. But that's just, that's a little what if for you.
All right.
But no, I was gonna say I don't have anything else other than just you said you've got some results. I've got the results.
Yeah, let me hit you with the recaps for Raw and SmackDown real quick, and then we'll get out of here before our next episode.
Well, I've also got the recap for results for AEW and TNA as well.
Okay.
Speaking of TNA, man, I watched it. Man, watch it. It's good.
I like it. Like I said, now I don't watch it, like I said, because I can't usually find it or whatever. If I do it,
AMC every Thursday night.
See, I don't have AMC though. All right. Okay. Raw results for the 26th of January. We had a heavyweight match between CM Punk and AJ Styles. I guess they're trying to, like give him a little shine or whatever. But the match ended in DQ because Finn Balor came in and basically assaulted everybody. Then tag team match, we had...
it was a very good match up until that point, too.
Yeah. We had Rio, which is Rhea and Io Skies, with Stephanie Vercare with a 6-man tag team, basically against the Judgment Day ladies, Liv Morgan, what's her name? Roxanne Perez and... Raquel? Yeah, Raquel. And Rhea and Stephanie won. Let's see. There was a fatal 4-way match between Alpha Academy, the New Day, American Made, and Los Americanos, which the Alpha Academy won.
I've seen that. That was a pretty good match too, to be honest with you.
And then we had of course, a legend, Rey Mysterio versus Austin Theory, which Austin Theory won. handily. No surprise there with a little help from Vision. Then Braun Breaker returned and was added to the Royal Rumble. And Pierce Morgan. Is it Pierce Morgan? I don't know no, it's not Pierce. The GM of Raw apologized, and I'm still kind of wondering who that phone call was from. Let's see. For SmackDown, we had Dusty. God, I can't think of his name. Main event: Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, and
You mean Cody?
yeah, Cody.
Yeah, you said Dusty. I was like, man,
Dusty.
he came back, man. He made a
From the
big
dead.
comeback.
Main event: Jey
Let me tell you about a comeback, baby.
and Randy Orton were all in there talking smack, and then the Vision came out. So we had a little mini rumble, and of course, it ended with the Vision winning. Then there was the ladies. I think it was a tag team match between Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez versus the Flair and what's her tag team partner? Alexis Bliss.
Alexa Bliss, yeah.
Yeah, and they were all in the black, which made it really hard to even see anybody and stuff. I told you that, which is really a terrible match and shit all the way around and shit. Let's see what else. I feel like I'm missing something else. We had the United States with that challenge. Oh, Carmelo Hayes defeated the Dragon Lee. All the guys met. No, it was Ray Phoenix.
Ray Phoenix.
Yeah, Phoenix. He defeated him to keep his title.
Okay.
And I think there was one more thing else, but I'm not sure what it was. But that was the whole gist of it, pretty much. Just pretty much heating up everything for the Royal Rumble. Gunther came out, of course, talking more smack with AJ Styles, kind of baiting him. So they're definitely pushing the Legend Killer 2.0, in my opinion.
Most definitely. They're definitely making unstoppable machine.
Yeah.
All right. I have got the results for AEW and TNA here. Let's see. In AEW, we had Kenny Omega versus Rocky Romero. Kenny Omega came out on top on that one. Omega will face Andrade next week to determine a new number one contender. For the Continental Championship, I kind of like that. They took the inner part out and just made it the Continental Championship.
Like they had a choice.
Right. But John Moxley was the champion taking on Ace Austin, and John Moxley came out on top. It was a Continental title eliminator match. Let's see. The TNT Championship, Mark Briscoe versus El Colon, I guess is his name. Briscoe retained with the Froggy Bow. And we got the AEW debut of Tommaso Ciampa after the match and challenged Mark Briscoe. The AEW Women's World Title, Chris Statlander versus Thakia, I guess is her name. Thakia, I'm not for sure. Starlander retained. AEW World Tag Team titles, FTR took on Mark Davis and Jake Doyle. FTR retained after John Moxley interfered to retaliate against Davis and Doyle. And in the main event, Andrade took on Swerve Strickland. Andrade won after a low blow that the referee did not see. Upcoming on the 31st is AEW Collision. and we will bring all those results to you when we get them. Let me get these TNA results up here real quick. I really did, man. I enjoyed watching TNA's show the other night. Like it was nice to see something a little bit different. You know what I mean? So from TNA, we had, let's see here, we had no holds barred match. And I'm going to tell you right now, that no holds barred match, I watched it. That was a hell of a match. Hell of a match. It was between Rich Swann and AJ Francis. I'm trying to think. I cannot remember his name, but AJ Francis used to wrestle in the WWE. I can't remember what his name was, but it was something that he was in a tag team with Ashante the Adonis, and it was something about money was their name or something like that. I can't remember what was that a tag team. It is, but that was a good match. Nick Namath, also known as Dolph Ziggler, defeated BDE via pinfall after hitting the danger zone. Elijah, also known as Elias, defeated Jason Hotch with Order 4 despite repeating outside interference. Elaine Black defeated Ruthie J in her first ever match since officially signing with the company. And Stax with Ariana Grace defeated Hometown Man in a non-title bout using a roll-up with his feet on the ropes. You know, something that the TNA does, and I just want to touch on this real quick before we get go on too far. We got about 9 minutes left. Their Money in the Bank style match, I can't remember what it's called, Fortune or Fate or something like that. I can't remember. They have like 5 different briefcases that you have to grab. So everybody gets to grab a briefcase, but then when you open your briefcase, you may get a tag team title shot. You may get a world title shot. You may get a, whatever, title shot. But one briefcase, you get fired.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So it's kind of like luck of the draw type stuff, everything. And they revealed the guy that got fired this past week. I can't remember what his name was. I'm sorry. I apologize for that. I know I'm horrible. But, yeah, apparently it was a big deal because everybody's tripping and everything about it. So I don't know. From what I've seen, people are not happy about this guy getting fired. So before we get out of here, I got a couple of Royal Rumble questions for you, Uncle Slam, just to see. And then we'll actually, do we need to do a rundown of the card of the Royal Rumble?
We can. I thought we were supposed to.
Rumble.
It's 12:30 right now, though. Remember?
Yeah. Well, they knew we were going to be possibly another minute or anything. So
okay. Just making sure. I don't like keeping guests waiting.
Oh, I totally understand, and we don't want to keep these ladies waiting. Tune in after this show, guys. We're going live with the Sloans from Southern Illinois. They are a mother-daughter duo that love wrestling. They run a bunch of different shows, but we will let you know more about that here in just a few minutes. But the Royal Rumble match, of course, there is the Women's Royal Rumble and the Men's Royal Rumble. We'll get to those here in a second. We got Drew McIntyre versus Sami Zayn for the undisputed WWE Championship. Do you actually see Sami winning? I don't.
No, not at all.
So we're in agreement there. Sami's not walking.
Yeah, there's too many outside factors with Jacob Fatu, Cody, Jay, and Randy Orton. Yeah, just way too many. Vision. Yeah, I don't see it.
So we got Gunther versus AJ Styles.
Now this is one
match. If Styles loses, he must retire. I see Styles going away.
Do you think it's over with right now? See, I
Yeah.
figured they were gonna let him go out at a WrestleMania, but
The
they seem
only
like
way I can see that happening is if something happens and there's like some kind of a disqualification or something to where
yeah.
they can prolong it. If not, then I can see the WrestleMania thing. But if they
Well,
don't prolong it, then no,
yeah.
it'll be over with.
Only because they're building it up. They're making it too easy for us to be like, okay, he's getting ready to get retired. Is the only reason he might not win, but I just don't understand how they would switch it. You know what I'm saying? Like I
It's
don't see.
almost too obvious.
Yeah, unless there's some type of outside interference that gets somebody disqualified, and even that, it just would probably work more in AJ's favor, in Gunther's favor. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go against the grain and say that AJ wins.
I want AJ to win, and I hope AJ wins. But something tells me Gunther might win. So I could. This one's kind of up in the air for me. I don't
Yeah,
really know.
definitely, definitely.
All right, Women's Royal Rumble. Who you got? This one, I'm gonna just go out and go ahead and give my prediction. My prediction is I don't know. The women's division is so up for grabs right now. It's definitely a mystery as to who could walk away with this. I would like to see Stephanie Valkyrie, but she's already got a world title. So,
Yeah, so there's no incentive for her to really win it. Maybe a Liv Morgan, maybe one of the chicks from like NXT, like Lash Legend or somebody like that. But um, 'cause I just don't see none of the regular chicks that's won it before like winning it again, unless maybe Max Dupree does or something like that. But
right.
I'm not seeing that with the whole Natalia storyline. I just don't see that working.
So the men's Royal Rumble. Who you got in that
Um, I don't know. Everybody's making it seem like Braun's going to win it or whatever. That's that's the obvious choice. But I'm not going to go with the obvious. I'm going to go with maybe like an Obe Feme or somebody like that. Like that's who I would like. Like I want to see somebody new. Like I want to see somebody that ain't had a chance to get a shot. Like really, I'd like to see like a LA Knight come back and win it. To be 100% honest, I think he's more than deserving. If not him, maybe like a Jacob Fatu. Um,
one? I could
those would be
see
my
that.
those would be mine.
I I'm gonna go with who I always go with, and I'm gonna say, you know who I'm gonna say, LA Knight.
Who?
I want LA Knight to win it. I want him to win it big time, but who knows? He might not. It's a mess. Who knows? So okay, last question before we're out of here. Any surprise entrants tonight? Who do you think's gonna?
Yeah, I don't know. I would say Cena, but Cena's done retired. Uh, there's definitely going to be some. I'm trying to think of somebody I hadn't seen in a while who could still wrestle. Um, I wouldn't mind seeing like an Edge or a Kurt Angle or somebody like that. Trying to think of maybe somebody. Nobody really jumps out that that Brock, of course, but like, is that really like a surprise? Brock Lesnar, maybe, but that's the only thing I could think.
I think we're gonna get what's his face. Why can I not think of his name? Jericho.
Oh, Jericho coming back.
I think we're 100% going to get Jericho.
Uh, mm,
But who knows? That could maybe not. Who knows? But that's the fun of the Rumble, guys.
yeah, you never know.
But yes. We have two lovely ladies that are waiting backstage, guys. We are getting ready to jump off here and jump over and talk to them. I don't have anything else. Do you, Uncle Slam?
I'm tapped out.
Then I guess the referee is going to ring that damn bell, and because he said that 3 count, and we are going to get out of here. We will holler at you next week.